The time is just gone 20 minutes past 8 a.m. and we're going across now to be joined by the second deputy president at the Muslim Judicial Council. We're talking with Shaykh Riad Fataar. Shaykh Riad, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Jummah Mubarak, and welcome to the show this morning.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, habibi, and Jummah Mubarak to everybody. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum.
Sheikh, let's talk about this issue that has been brewing in Cape Town with the accusations that have been leveled against the Democratic Alliance and banning the Islamic call to prayer, which is the Adhan. And yesterday we spoke to one of the DA people and saying that he actually lashed out against the Good Party, obviously saying that the ban has been against the Adhan and also the ringing of church bells. Now, according to the DA, they say they've had extensive discussions on this issue with the MJC.
Just give me a minute. Okay. Are you still with me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala ashraf al-mursaleen. سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Habibi and respected listeners, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It is important in terms of Muslim organizations that one sees things coming way ahead. And Alhamdulillah, sometimes you get this opportunity and you can tackle issues beforehand. In terms of your meeting or your interview with the councillor Nagavashi, it is true that we have met with him and Councillor Aslam Kasim. That was in April of 2020 when we, in actual fact, they called for a meeting to discuss the bylaws that were going to come through at the end of December 2020. We went through all of the different clauses that were there. They have given us the insurance, and we have seen in the bylaws that it doesn't affect the Adhan. And the two that they are concentrating on is the, number 22 and 23 sections of the bylaw that does not. We were very careful. We got that in writing. And we put out a joint statement in order to make sure that our community, that the Adhan, the Deen of Islam is going to be protected. And that happened in, I think it was the 5th of May last year. So whoever were to revert back to our statement on the Facebook will find that we've already dealt with the matter there. So Alhamdulillah, I mean, just to make sure, yesterday we called them in for a meeting again and asked, listen, is anything happened? Has anything changed from the statement that we put out and so on? Because Councillor Nagavashi is the chairman of that portfolio committee. And Alhamdulillah, nothing has changed. Our Adhan won't be touched. And we have the assurity that nothing like that would happen, inshallah ta'ala.
Well, inshallah, in fact, Jazakallah for clarifying that issue. Now, I'm just trying to figure out why would the Good Party obviously lash out at the city officials to the extent that saying that they even failed to honor the commitment that they had made in 2019 to exempt the Adhan and ringing of church bells as noise nuisances.
Right, Habibi. It is election time. It is election time. And it is unfortunate that the public are being misused, I feel. Not just on that issue, but any other issues. Political parties uses this. There is one sticky thing that needs to be changed though. And we've got the commitment from Councillor Aslam Kasim that he is going to put in a proposal to have changed, and that is that we want the Adhan out of that list of noise nuisance, that it should not be classified like that. And again, yesterday, we took that commitment that that is going to be tabled at the council.
Yes. Now, also, I think, I know the MJC has been very, very proactive, Sheikh Riad, in its relationship and its communication with the various authorities. And this is not only at local level, but also at national and at provincial level. And I suppose, these are issues in terms of engagement, and they need to take place obviously regularly. And in fact, it's encouraging to see how proactive the MJC has been on this particular matter, because we know that generally we've seen it not only in the Western Cape, but in other parts around the country. There always seems to be this problem and this controversy surrounding the Adhan.
Yeah, no, that is true. And I can tell you that we have the assurance that even if people are going to lay a complaint in the Western Cape about the Adhan, now we will work with the community. If the Adhan is too loud and it goes against the permissible decibels, then we will call in the committees and say, listen, we need to just tune down a little bit and so on, so that it can be in line and so on. We move with that. But where the masjid or the Adhan is in line with whatever restrictions there is or whatever bylaws allow, then we have been given that assurance that if you are compliant, then we will make sure that nothing will happen to that masjid or that Adhan wherever it's coming from. So alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, that is in place.
Yes. Now, also, Shaykh Riad, we can confirm that in Cape Town that there is not a single masjid that is affected or impacted in any way whatsoever for calling out
Not
the
at the
Adhan.
moment.
And I know at some point in time, the masjid in District 6, there was a public outcry. And obviously, this being the oldest masjid as well, one of the oldest masjids in Cape Town also. So, that came under the radar, that came under the spotlight. So at this point in time, we can confirm that all masajids are not affected, impacted in any way whatsoever.
Perfectly said. And I do want to say, when you say there's an outcry, just so that the listeners understand, the outcry was in favor of the Adhan, and there was one person only that has raised the objection. So alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and this is the beauty of Islam. This is the greatness of this deen that we are in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly says in the Holy Quran, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. Work and cooperate with one another. That's going to bring goodness, that's going to bring righteousness and piety. And don't cooperate with one another that is going to cause envy and hatred and these kind of things. And it is the Muslims' cooperation on halal matters that brings us this kind of easy cooperation with various levels of government that we find ourselves.
Well, Shaykh Riad, Jazakallah khairan so much for that and for clarifying this issue with us this morning here on Salam Media, on News and Views. We wish you well, inshallah, and have yourself a wonderful Jum'ah, and Allah accept, Allah reward your efforts and everybody else, inshallah.
Barakallah feekum, Habibi. Jazakallah khair al-jazah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shaykh Riad Fataar clarifying the issue with regards to the accusations about the DA trying to ban the Adhan, and there were very, very strong sentiments that were expressed by the good party. And as Shaykh Riad Fataar mentioned, it is election time. Politicking will take place, and we will find a lot of this taking place in the build-up to the election. Now, just once again, we want to remind our listeners and our viewers that please note that Salam Media will be temporarily off air today from the 1st of October, Friday, 21st of October, and that will be from 10 a.m. due to upgrades at our broadcast facilities. Our technical team will be working hard to have our broadcast transmission back online as soon as possible. So we thank you for your patience, and this comes through from the Salam Media management. If you have got any queries, please contact us on the mobile WhatsApp line 081-717-2300, or you can also send us an email on info@salammedia.com. gmail.com.
Do